Well, good. I knew you were going to do that.
It's like the new intro kind of cut that off part, kind of cut that off. And I'll be waiting for that little boom, 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 boom.
Well, welcome, everybody. It is time for Authors Up. This is our favorite place to be on Sunday evenings. We hope that you're making it your favorite place to be as well. As you can tell, we're still missing our other partner in crime.
Yes. One of the bronze girls is missing.
Back real soon. She's been over there in London getting things straightened out. Wherever Ruth is going, she's going to straighten out some stuff. So she's in London straightening out some stuff. And then and she came back and visited with her daughter, and then she went on a cruise. So
who told her she could do all of that? Now we have to discuss the schedule.
It's a lot.
I don't understand why we weren't invited on the cruise. That's the problem.
She is having a good time. She is enjoying life, and that's what we are supposed to be doing.
Yes.
We're not just supposed to be working hard and struggling and on the struggle bus, as they say, and all these other things that are going on. But somewhere in there, we have got to enjoy life. So Ruth, we miss you. We'll be glad when you come back. But until you do, we holding it in the road, girl.
Wait. And she missed all the weather. She missed all of the ice and the snow. Okay.
I know. And with that being said, why don't we go on and start with our week in review?
Okay.
I'm telling you, my week was consumed with weather.
Yes.
Like everybody else.
Yes.
So, isn't it going to snow? Is it going to be icy? Isn't it going to be icy? How many inches? No. Is it like it was before? You got all your
lose power.
I'm telling you, everybody was just on alert.
Right.
On alert. And I'm just glad I didn't lose power. I'm glad.
Amen.
I was able to do what I needed to do. I'm glad I got to the store and all of that. Yes. I have a little put out that I my doctor's appointments and all got canceled, but I'll get them rescheduled and get them going and get them in there. But I'm glad that my family was all safe.
Amen.
I'm glad people called and checked on me and wanted to know if I had everything that I needed. So that was a good feeling to know that folk are looking out for the senior citizens and everybody else, the cousins and the friends and everybody and your neighbors and all of that. So it's something about storms. As inconvenient as they may be, they always bring us together.
Yes.
They always provide a path for us to communicate with each other, make sure we're doing all right, and make sure we have everything that we need. And, we still got the word for those who want
Amen.
to on Sunday. And, all that was all good. It was all good. So that's kind of how my week was playing out. How about you, Victoria?
Well, the same, just about, except I worked. I was able to work from home, and I was, of course, we was like just about iced in all week, but I was And in between all that, when I went out to start my car, when the girls went out to start the car, they refused to let me go outside. They said that I'm a fall risk and I need one of the yellow bracelets. So I need that yellow bracelet, not a green one. They said I wasn't allowed outside. So when they went out, they went to start the car didn't start. So I ended up having to, all this was last week. You had to navigate, get my car fixed. It ended up being the starter. So I had to get that fixed. But I thank God I had it had it to do.
Yeah,
And it wasn't scrambling. I didn't have a cup out asking folks. God just made a way, And so I just rejoice in that. And a little bit of a testimony for me was, since I was all out Friday and doing the big girl things, I said there was a couple of things I wanted from the store that they didn't get. So I said, well, let me, go to the store. Well, I get in the store and I have problems with my legs and my thighs. And I did get on the line and the store was horrendous. I
yeah,
believe I stood in line for 40 minutes for maybe $30 worth of little stuff. So I didn't have that much. But my legs and my back started hurting real bad. And I was like, oh Lord, please. And right when I thought it was going to get really bad, the line just kind of, and I walked out to the car and I did it. And I said, God, I thank you. I was grateful. So
yeah,
I'm learning to really be appreciative and grateful for the small things. It,
yeah.
it, what may look simple to some was a big deal for me to be able to go to the grocery store and do it I did it myself.
Did it myself.
Exactly. Will I do that again anytime soon? I don't think so because it was a little rough. By the time I got home, I was near tears, and they had to come and help me get everything in. Vinay was like, "Ma, you just get yourself in. I got everything else." So the sickest shut in was the sickest shut in again. But like I told you before we started the show, I just feel so peaceful today. And when you worship, for me, when I worship, and you truly just give God the glory, there's just a peace that comes. And I'm just so peaceful tonight.
Mhm.
I don't know what he's preparing me for, but I'm peaceful. I know that he's got me. So that was my week, and it was wonderful indeed. And we're out tomorrow. We're already out tomorrow. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. I brought work home. So hey, we'll start to work the week again, working but I love that I'm here with you tonight. That's my favorite thing. So I'm good.
I'm glad that you're here as well. We miss our other buddy, but
Yes, it's not
it
right
moves,
without the bronze girls.
keep, keep it moving and keep it going. And
Yes,
we've
yes,
got we've got a good guest
yes.
tonight. We have a great book. She's written a great book.
Love this book.
And, I I think a lot about I am not as tech savvy as I would like to be. I'll put it
Okay.
that way.
You're
Most
learning. You're
that,
learning.
but I'm not tech savvy as I would like to be. But I am so grateful that we are at a place um, where we can make adjustments, we can
Yes.
change some things, we can do some things differently because of technology.
I love it.
And without it, we would not have been able to entertain the guests that we have tonight. We would not have been able to have her on the program, and
Right.
it's so it just feels good to
Yes.
know sometimes that you can connect with people in other places and other time zones, and other things that are happening, and
Right.
just have it run smoothly and have it go the way that we want it to go, so that we
Exactly.
have the opportunity to allow those of you who are listening and those of you who are watching the same joy that we have
Exactly.
when we get this different people.
Because everybody is not able to be here on 7 o'clock on Sunday.
That's right.
But yet she is, and she's here.
That is absolutely right. So tonight you all may not know it, but every Sunday we invite Jesus in too. So, he comes in the room and we're here, and our guest is here. You're here, so we got a complete setup. We got everything that we need.
Exactly.
But let me tell you a little bit about our guest tonight. Her name is Winnie Li, and she's an American author and activist living in the UK with her partner and young son. A Harvard graduate, Winnie has written for travel guidebooks, produced independent feature films, programmed for film festivals, and developed ecotourism projects. Her first novel, hear this, her first novel,
Wow.
Dark Chapter, was nominated for an Edgar Award and translated into 10 languages.
Woo.
Her first novel. Did I say it was
Wow.
her first novel? Her first,
Yes.
followed by the critically acclaimed Complicit, a survivor and advocate against gendered violence. She holds a PhD from the London School of Economics and teaches creative writing and media studies. This is a busy lady, but
Yes.
she was not too busy to make time for us so that you could hear her and you could hear about this wonderful book that she has written. She's a delightful, delightful lady, wonderful author. And Victoria, why don't you just bring her in? We would,
I
like
will
I said,
do
we
it.
were lucky enough to be able to record this interview so we could show it to you tonight.
Yes.
So,
This is
Victoria,
our interview with Winnie Li as we discuss her book, What We Left Unsaid. All right, let me add her to the stage.
well, welcome back, everybody. We have the opportunity tonight I think that might be premature for me to say one of our favorite authors, but let me tell you, this is indeed one of our favorite books. That's for sure. And I know that she has written other things. Winnie Li, I thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Thank you for bringing us a wonderful book. And we're just excited to have the opportunity to talk to you about it this evening. So you guys sit back, relax, and get ready because this is going to be an amazing show. Winnie, you doing okay?
I'm good. Yeah. That was
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks. Thank you for all the enthusiasm. I love it. Sweeties.
Very good, very good. Well, since our other cohort is not here today, we're going to, or I should say during this recording, and we're very, very happy that you made time in your schedule
Yes,
to
thank
do
you.
this with us, Winnie, because we know things are very busy for you. But let's go ahead and get started with our interview portion. Victoria, you want to take the role or take the lead here?
Okay, sure. We're going to talk to you about your book, What We Left Unsaid. Could you just tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, sure. So it's a novel. Here's the cover of it.
Yes.
As you can probably tell from the cover, it's kind of about three people on a road trip.
Yes. I
And so it's
love
actually,
it.
I know, it's my third novel, and it's pretty different from my other two because I think I just wanted to write something that was maybe lighter on the surface than my other two. My first two books were kind of sold as crime or suspense. And I wanted to write something that was, maybe a bit more fun, right? Or something where
Right.
people would hear about it and they'd be like, oh my God, that's a bit heavy,
Well,
right?
we like that too. We love crime and whodunit.
Yeah. And it's a really, crime is a really popular category. I have a lot of friends who are crime writers, but I think I wanted to write something that wasn't so immediately heavy, right? And something that was
Right.
like more fun to research and more fun to kind of like get energy from as a writer. So I wanted to write about a road trip through America. And again, I'm an American, obviously, as you can tell from my accent, but I've been living in the UK for like all of my adult life. So it's like 25 years since I moved abroad. So I have this interesting relationship with America and the way it's been evolving and the way I kind of see our country, my country, what have you, from a distance. And obviously things have been getting weird in America. So I kind of was looking at that, but then I also felt like I'd never traveled in America myself, right? So I wanted to write a novel about three characters that have to go on a road trip across America who themselves don't really know certain parts of America very well.
Wow.
And the three characters are three estranged Asian American adult siblings who haven't really gotten along and who kind of represent different aspects of the Asian American experience. So I just wanted to throw them into a car together, make them go on this road trip down Route 66 for about 6 days together and just see how they fare, right? And see if, at the end of that trip, if they end up kind of mending some of the distances that have grown between them as adulthood kind of divided them up and took them in different directions.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, how long did it take you to write it?
Oh, I mean, it's hard to say because like I'm not obviously like writing every day. I mean, I started writing it I started the research. So I did the road trip with my child who's almost 2 years old at the time, and my partner who's English. Yeah, so we drove Route 66 in autumn of 2021. And then I kind of was writing it from like early 2022, kind of finished it, I suppose, in 2024. So it was kind of like spread out over about like 2.5 years, the writing process.
Wow.
I'd have like long periods of like, I'd have like 6 months where I wasn't working on it. So, I mean, it was mixed in with all the other stuff I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you actually took the trip.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure I heard you. You went through Route 66, which is how they take it. And you went that exact route from Chicago to
LA. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow. So, and I think I kind of came up with the idea because I want to almost give myself an excuse to do Route 66. Because it's one of those things, if you especially don't live in the States anymore, just the thought, like, who's actually going to take time out and drive it? But I'm like, well, if I come up with an idea for a novel, and I have to do it for research, then I have to drive Route 66. So it was kind of a challenge to myself. Yeah. But also, that was it. I wanted to write something that was gonna be fun and make me do that research, but then also allowed me to kind of explore sort of the more serious stuff that's happening in the U.S. So yeah.
Wait a minute. So you actually stopped at all those places that you wrote about?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry?
No, I was going to say, and I believe every place you wrote about, I've never been before. So.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have either if I hadn't gone on the trip because there's so much of America I haven't seen. So, and I had to pitch the whole idea to my partner because we had a baby. I gave birth. Then COVID happened, and so we were raising our baby in lockdown. And I kind of pitched the idea to my partner. I'm like, "Hey, what do you think about we could fly to America? We could fly to Chicago and like rent a car and then drive to visit my parents in LA. But we could drive Route 66." And he was just like, "That's crazy. Like, why would you ever want to do that?" So I kind of had to sell it to him. But then there is that appeal, like the sense of the American road trip is generally appealing. Reality is not always that amazing. And then he's never seen the Grand Canyon, all these sorts of things. So,
yes,
yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, do you have any questions too? I mean, at this point, we're just gonna jump on in.
Yeah. Because I wanted to say it is so interesting to me that we pulled this book at this time. Yes. Because I was just talking to some friends of mine over the weekend saying, what I would really like to do? I would love to go cross country. And they were like, in a car? Are you kidding me? No way in the world. Yeah. So now I can go back and report, I met a wonderful author who did this. And it worked out fine. It worked out fine.
Yeah. Well, Winnie, would you recommend taking the baby?
Well, that was definitely a challenge. I mean, in some ways it created some amazing memories. Like he doesn't remember any of it. Like, my child's now 6. So I was like, do you remember? Right. Like he doesn't remember any of it. But I mean, we obviously remember it. And, it's an entirely different experience doing a road trip with a baby because you can't be exploring nightlife, right? You have to be home and your child, you have to be in a hotel room and tucking your child in sometime around like 7 or 8. Right. And then, he was napping a lot at the time. So even like really interesting stuff, if we were driving past it, we couldn't stop. We were just like driving really slowly, looking at it. Okay. And then we went to lots of really good playgrounds all across America. But you do get to meet, at playgrounds, you meet other parents and other kids. And so it was this interesting way of traveling through America because you're meeting, you're not going to museums all the time and all that. You're meeting people, families at playgrounds all across America. So that was kind of interesting as well. Yeah.
Wow.
We
Wow.
all have the characters that we are most drawn to, and it's interesting that Victoria was uh, picking one, and I had mine. Who is your favorite character that you wrote about in terms of who is most like you in terms of your own temperament and personality?
I mean, that's easy because it's Alex, right? I mean, Alex,
Oh,
you know,
I thought so.
yeah, I mean, she's the youngest of the siblings. She's the one that moved to the London to work in the arts.
Right.
She's considers herself like really lefty and like really concerned with social justice issues,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a similarity to me. Obviously, she wanted to be an actor originally when she moved to London. I've had zero interest in acting, but I work in the arts, so there is that. Yeah, but I mean, I kind of like Kevin's really different from me, but I found him interesting to write. And Bonnie, there's like some similarities with my older sister, but again, every single one of the characters was interesting for me to write, even if they didn't kind of have the same life experience as me. Who were your favorite characters? I'm just curious.
Alex wasn't mine. B. I can't call her name. Help me with her name.
Bonnie or Kevin?
Bonnie.
Yeah. I liked Bonnie.
Okay.
There was something. There was just something cool about Bonnie.
Okay. All right.
She was kind of settled, but not so settled. She
Yeah.
could figure things out on the fly. She just seemed to have it all together, up here, even if it didn't come
I
out.
was gonna say, but did she? But did she?
It didn't always come out. And I really, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to do spoiler thing for anybody else, but her time in conversation with her mother really, I thought I was going to have to call Victoria and borrow her Kleenex. I saw my conversation with my mother.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it. I could feel it, and it just got. There were places in the book that to me just got very personal. No, I'd never been cross country. No, I don't have 3 siblings and all of that. But there was something innate in what they were going through.
Yes.
Not just the travel, but the trauma and all of those things that just really, I was sitting there at some point going, whew, okay, Winnie.
Yeah.
Kind of hard.
Yeah. I mean, well, let me pitch it for the viewers a bit better because I feel like I haven't actually set it up properly. So it's 3 estranged adult siblings. So there's Bonnie, who's the eldest daughter, and she's the eldest daughter, so she does everything perfectly, right? At least on the outside. There's Kevin, who's the middle son, and he's, especially in an Asian American family, he's seen as everybody wants a boy, everybody wants a son, right? Yes. So he's always seen to be doing the right thing, or he can do no wrong in his parents' eyes. Right. In real life, he's done a lot of wrong, but he can't fess up to that. He's ashamed of actually admitting any of that. And then there's Alex, who is kind of the rebellious black sheep, youngest daughter, works in the arts, moved to England, right, and never kind of came back. And so they've really drifted. And then the novel pretty much takes place in like around 2021, 2022. And then, so it's been like Alex and Kevin have had a fight. They haven't seen each other in like 5 years. Alex is also a lesbian, so she's come out to her family a few years ago, and it didn't go over too well with the whole family. So that's another reason she's estranged. But the reason that they're all forced on this road trip together is they get a phone call from their mother. Their parents live in California. They all grew up in California, but Bonnie now lives in Boston. Kevin's in Chicago, Alex is in London, so they're really far apart. And their mother says, well, I've got an operation next month. I've had a medical condition. I've had a stroke. And so I haven't seen the 3 of you together in person in years. So I want you to come visit me in person together next month. And I want you to drive to see me and stop at the Grand Canyon on the way. And they're all like, "What, Mom? Like, you can make us do this. We've got families, we've got jobs." But the reason that she requests that is because 30 years ago, when they were all kids in the early 90s, the whole family, when they were kids, had tried to visit the Grand Canyon from California, and they never quite made it. Like, at the last minute, they had to turn around. Nobody really knows why. So during the course of that, the present day trip, as the kind of the middle-aged siblings are making their way across America, they end up confronting what happened at this gas station in the 90s.
Yes.
And what kind of caused this sort of rift in their family, and kind of
Yes.
caused this mystery that made them all sort of drift apart in some ways. So that's the setup. And I should have said that earlier in the conversation, but
That's okay. It doesn't matter whether you said it then or now. It's there.
Because this is a good place for you to read to
okay.
us.
Yeah.
We ask all of our authors to do that. And we asked Winnie to do that as well, and she so graciously agreed to do it. So you can set this part up for us, Winnie, and read. I'm ready.
Yeah, great. Okay, so I'm going to read the section. So the mother requests that they all visit. And so after like much hemming and hawing, they're like, okay, fine, we're going to go on this road trip together. Begrudgingly, they all agree to it. And so the plan is that they're all going to meet in Chicago, where Kevin lives. Kevin's like, let's do Route 66. And they're like, that's a real thing. And he's like, sure. So the plan is to meet in Chicago, and they're going to drive Kevin's car from driving Route 66 to California. So it starts off, the section I'm going to read is Bonnie. So she's deciding to drive from Boston to Chicago. So she's kind of got like 2 days of her own to make her way across there. But the thing with Bonnie is she's married into a well-off white family in Boston, and she's the main characters are Asian American, they're Taiwanese American. So she's kind of in the process of all that, lost her own sense of heritage. She's had to really kind of assimilate into, an elite white culture. And there's obviously good things that come with that. There's privileges that come with that. She's very kind of financially comfortable. She's raising 3 sons, but, she's maybe felt like she's like lost a little bit of herself and of her connection to her family. And also because she's been playing this mother role, she hasn't had much time to herself, right? She secretly loves driving, right? Which is something that, because her husband's always like insisting that
you can't drive. He laughs at her because he thinks her driving skills are.
Yeah, exactly. And she's secretly like, I'm a better driver than you, but I'm not going to say it. So anyway, so she decides to rent. So she's driving this car on her own. And so it's about kind of her sense of, I guess, freedom, I suppose. And just like that, Bonnie is off. Her right foot pedals the gas of a shiny new rental car as she guns down the Massachusetts Turnpike, speeding away from suburban Boston, away from that spacious house surrounded by the maple trees and lawn and lake, away from her 3 spirited sons and her less spirited husband, toward her aging parents on the other side of the continent. There's an undeniable feeling of freedom as she switches deftly into the fast lane of the interstate, an escape of sorts. But can you really call it escape if you're leaving one place of family responsibility to return to another? She glances at the screen of her GPS, a highlighted red line snaking down the pixelated highway, her car denoted simply by a triangular arrowhead inching along. Again, the abstraction of her journey is what strikes her, that you can do this so simply. Alex was right. Get in a car, turn on the ignition, press down on the pedal, and be on your way, a 3,000-mile journey back to the place you once called home. Shifting from adulthood back to some strange approximation of her childhood life, with its well-worn family dynamics. A family journey she needs no map for.
Yes. It's
Should I keep going? I can keep going a little bit, or
keep going, just a little bit,
just a little more. Okay. So Chris laughed when he saw the sports car she'd rented, sleek and speedy looking, but why not? What he doesn't know is that last year Bonnie had enrolled in a tactical driving course just for fun, or maybe just to prove him wrong about her driving. It was something she did on a weekend, claiming it was a girls' trip when secretly she was learning how to do J-turns and swerves. She could think of no better thrill, the car responding deftly to her slightest touch, the power that roared alive with a simple tap of the gas. She was the only woman taking the course. The others were young men and doughy middle-aged dads, seeking some fun in their boring suburban lives. They stared at her, this petite Asian woman who delighted in being behind the wheel. And for once in her life, She didn't care. It felt like the kind of impulsive thing Alex would have done. The GPS issues a vocal command in a competent female voice. Stay on Highway 90 for 157 miles. 157 miles it is. And then Bonnie realizes she doesn't need to follow any commands or instructions for now. It's a straight shot ahead. All she has to do is reach Chicago by tomorrow night. How thrilling to think that between now and then, she can do whatever she wants. She can veer completely off path if she wants. She can stop overnight in Buffalo and talk to men at a bar, try to remember what it was like to once be single. The road is hers, wherever she decides to take it.
That's my girl.
That's it.
I like Bonnie. I like Bonnie.
And Victoria, how about you? Who was your favorite character, Victoria?
I'm going to give you the Victoria review right now. I saw a lot of me in each of them, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
And let me just say from the top, your book is why I love to read. Your book takes you through a journey and a story, and it captivated me from the very beginning. I wanted to see what was going to happen, and that is, I'm probably going to get your book and put it in my library because I want to read this book and have it in my library to give to somebody. I don't know, somehow, some way, I'm going to give this book to somebody and say, you got to read this book. But as I was reading it, like I said, I saw myself in all of the characters because, and I know I'm going to get emotional. I told Andrea at the top that this book, there's no coincidences. And I believe there's no coincidence in our past in life. That my mom is currently in the hospital now. She's 92 years old. And we've been battling she's been battling her health. And I've been flying back and forth for the last 2 years. And she lives with my brother, near my brother. And I tell you, I could not stop the tears because, like I said, I saw myself in each of them. I am the youngest girl. So, of course, Alex is my girl. Yeah. And I've been sort of the family rebel in a sense, not in some of the things that she's done, but I've taken a path different from what my family grew up, what I was taught. So I'm telling you, I can relate on so many levels. I saw the struggle of a minority people, and I just saw myself in so much of it that I oftentimes had to stop and get myself together so I could keep going. But at no time did I want to stop because I wanted to know what was going to happen in the story. And I told Andrea that when and if my mom does close her eyes, because she's not doing so great, and we just don't know how long her body is going to hold out. I would love to have some conversations with her. Because my mom was sexually assaulted as a child. And there's some things she never probably will tell me. She's told me some things, but there's some things she probably will never tell me. And that's my greatest hurt with her, is that she would go to her death not recognizing that she was worth it. She was worth it as a person. That what they did to her did not define who she is. That the miracle of it all is that she instilled in all four of us, there's 2 boys and 2 girls, she instilled in us this tenacity to live and to will and to do better. But she herself, like if you give my mom a gift now, she says, why did they give that to me? Why were they so nice to me? At 92, she inherently does not see her value, even though she taught us that God loves you unconditionally. So that I told Andrea, I said, I don't think my siblings and I could handle a road trip like that, but it would be nice if we could. We could at least go on a trip together, and because my father is deceased now as well. And if and when mommy passes, could we just go somewhere and just love on each other and love each other and get back to the place that we used to be? There are some signs of stress at the seams of what we're all going through that we normally get along, but I'm seeing some just little snap at the seams. But we have to come back to that place of love. And your book was just, it just was amazing to me. So I'm stopped now, so I'll get my little stuff
You
together.
know,
Come on, Andrew,
thank
jump in here.
you. That's really touching to hear, and also, thank you for sharing, your own story and your mom's story. And I think that's it. It's like the thing is, and siblings, some people have great relationships with their siblings and some don't. But it's kind of the sadness that like, people that maybe knew you the best for the first 20 years of your life, like your siblings,
Yes.
we all know how to, twist each other's or push each other's buttons and annoy each other. But we know there's a shorthand in terms of how we can communicate. But the people that knew you for the first 20 years of your lives, the best, like sometimes you only see them a few times a year or even like
Right.
less than that, right?
Right.
And there's a kind of sense of loss in that in terms of how that a relationship which could be really rich and rewarding oftentimes isn't, because we've gone different directions in life or we're not near each other, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's kind of what the book is meant to address in some ways, alongside all the other things with family and what we feel like we owe our parents and how maybe
Yes.
don't feel like they've been
Yes.
appreciated in the right way as well.
Yeah, and in the end we find ourselves again. We find out, go back to that place. And you're like, when they walked into the house for the first time, they immediately, all of them in some ways, immediately found themselves just being in that place of, okay, a little girl again, and their familial senses. It was just, I tell you, get the book. That's my catchphrase on the show. Get the book, people. You will not be disappointed in this story. Oh, it is, and it's more than a story. It's real life. It's real life.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Well, I tell you, our time goes by so fast when we're
we got a little bit more.
doing this. We're not quite done yet, but I wanted to add to what Victoria was saying about getting the book. There is so much packed in this story.
Mm.
You have the relationship element. You have the element of dealing with prejudices. Mm-hmm. You have the element of secrets. Yes. Every family's got one.
Right.
Say, and you're looking from the standpoint, I remember my elders, if you will, they'll take it to the grave. They're not going to talk about it, not going to discuss
Tell
it.
Jesus, nobody else, right?
How each of us deals with the trauma, in our own way. So it's not, I agree with Victoria, it's not just a story. There's just life packed in these chapters in a phenomenal way, because what Victoria saw for herself and within herself is not what I saw for myself or within myself. But both of us have a passion for this story. And that's because it was written by a great author.
Thank you. Yeah.
And amazing job in capturing all these things. Because let me tell you, it's a lot, but it's a book that you don't want to put down.
Right.
And that's what I love about certain books and certain authors that we have on the show. I like being at that point of saying, okay, well, just maybe a couple of more paragraphs. Like you were saying when you were reading, should I stop here? Should I go to the next thing? And I was thinking, well, yeah, you can stop there. Victoria was thinking, no, go to the next chapter. The next part was the best part. Her and the racing and all of that,
Yes.
So it is one of those kinds of books. And Winnie, I thank you so much for bringing it to us and allowing us to have the opportunity to kind of explore things that happened on this amazing cross-country trip with your siblings. I want to ask you one more thing. Victoria usually does. But how can people in touch with you, and where can they get the book?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch the last. What was the question?
Where can people get in touch with you? How can they get in touch with you, and how can they get the book?
Oh yeah, sure. So I mean, I've got a website, so winniemli.com, and I'm also on Instagram. I'm not on X, Twitter as much these days. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find me there. And yeah, I suppose the book is pretty much available through any good bookseller. You can find it on Amazon. You can order it from Barnes and Noble. You could go to your independent bookstore, and they'll order it for you. It should be at the library. If not, ask your library to stock it. But yeah, it's pretty readily available because Simon Schuster publishes it, and yeah, I just like hearing from people that have read it because I think there's something about being an author where you put so much effort in, you
Yes.
pour your soul into writing a book,
Yes.
and then you put it out in the world, and you don't. Sometimes people read it and they don't tell you, and then,
Okay.
and then I'm like, but I want to
Yes.
hear, like, maybe a little bit needy as an author, but you're just like, I need like encouragement that like my time was not wasted, right? So I always love hearing from people that have read it, and this book in particular, I've had reactions from like all sorts of people. Like people. I got a grandmother in Ireland sent me like a handwritten note to my
Oh.
office address. Right? I'm like, what is this handwritten note? It's this woman that had read all three of my books, but she loved this one in particular. And she was kind of mapping the different characters onto her kids. Right? I got an Instagram
Oh.
message from a filmmaker and an Italian filmmaker in Berlin who picked up my book and said like I could really relate to it because he was doing research on road trips. So just I've had really varied kind of like fans and readers getting in touch with me in ways that my other books haven't, right? Maybe because that's
Wow.
so this is, yeah, it's been really nice. And even though people have grown up in different situations, that whole sibling relationship and kind of the distance from the parents elements, I think, is what really kind of draws people in and what people connect to a lot.
That's
There's
awesome.
a lot, like I was saying, there are a lot of powerful points and powerful moments in the story. But if you had to pick one thing,
Mm.
which may be difficult, but if you had to pick one thing that you want people to walk away with, one thought, one situation, whatever, that you want people to walk away from who've read the book, what would that
Mm. I think just like the joy of travel, right? And there's lots of stuff you can say siblings, you can say like parents, all these sorts of things. You can talk about like racism, right? Because
Right.
that's there in the novel, right? And I wanted to again address what is the experience of being a person of color crossing
Yes.
certain parts of America, right? Because every time we see the Great American Road Trip, genuinely, usually it's white people, and that's a
Right.
very different experience, right? So I wanted to address all that, but in and aside all that, because travel can be dangerous, right? And I've had
Yes.
dangerous
Yeah,
experiences traveling as a woman of color, but then travel can also be amazing, right? And so it's this like I described the Grand Canyon, and you can watch on the TV screen, but being there in person, the Grand Canyon is a whole other
Hmm.
experience. So I think it's just the joy of travel. It's unpredictable. It can be dangerous, but most of the time, it's like an experience of wonder, right? Of
yeah,
realizing that like the world has this much to offer and there's this many things to see in the world, and you're only going to see it if you like get into the car and drive there, or if you like get on the plane and fly there. And if you share it with another person like your siblings, or if that's amazing too. But just to encourage people to travel and to kind of be out there in the world and to see it and not be like behind screens, right? Even
Yes.
though we're connecting through screens, but
Yes.
it's so easy to not to just stay at home now and watch Netflix or whatever and do all these other things. And I know obviously some people can't travel as easily, but
Yeah.
just being out there in the world is such an amazing experience. So yeah, I just hope people
well,
embrace that
Well, good.
opportunity.
Well, what is next? My question is, what is next for you? I mean, are you going to write a part two to this one? Are you working on something else? Because
I
you have followers now. You have followers.
Okay, all right. I mean, because some people have asked me part two, because like there is another trip that's hinted at the end of this one, but I think
Yes.
I think I'm done with these characters for now, right? I mean, maybe
Okay.
I'll come back to
Okay.
them.
Okay.
I do a lot of going back to, so it's like two things, right? Because obviously I teach creative writing at a university in the UK, so I'm kind of pretty busy with that. But I do a lot of work, as you might know, around sexual violence. So there's a nonfiction book about the experiences of women that have become public in the media
Mm.
about being
Mm.
victims. and the
Yes.
costs and the impacts of that, right? And which can be extreme. Virginia Dufresne is no longer with us, right? The whistleblower in the Jeffrey Epstein story. So, there's a big costs that people don't often think about because they often think like, oh, this woman's making it up and she's a gold digger, all these sorts of things. So
Yeah.
my PhD research was on that. So I kind of wanted to look at that. And that's also based on my own experience of being a survivor who's been in the media. So that's quite serious and heavy and goes back to the serious, heavy stuff. But then there's also a novel which is kind of about mystery set in the world of like science fiction, fantasy fandom.
Wait till Ruth hears that one.
Yeah, really into like cosplay and all that. So I wanted to write a novel that's set in that world and kind of look at why do people love these franchises so much? Like, why do they want to dress up as whomever from this universe and like spend all this time, like 5 days together? And that's more for them, that's more interesting in their everyday life, right? So I kind of want to look at that as well. So it's two totally different books, but hopefully one day I'll get both of them. So,
we understand there's people inside our heads too.
yeah. And you gotta let these people out onto the page somehow. So yeah.
Well, Winnie, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for writing such a phenomenal book. It is inspiring. I'm going to go back and tell my friends I met this woman and she went cross country and we can do this thing.
Yes. Yes. And I think I want to tell my siblings, let's go see Grand Canyon. I want to see
it. Yeah. Have you not been to the Grand Canyon? Go to the Grand Canyon. It's incredible. Like,
it's very, I would love to. It's one of the things, places I like to see. Thank you so much. Y'all get the book, y'all.
That's it. So Victoria, if you tell everybody how to get in touch with us here at Authors Up, we'll be out.
We'll do that. We'll do that when after Ruth edits all that out. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. We're gonna
no worries. Do you mind if I get a quick screen grab of us talking and I put on social media? Okay, here, let me just
Sure.
All right, so we're smiling. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. And is that okay if I put that out on social media that we did this interview? Okay.
Yes, I'm in the recording. We can stop recording. All right. We're back.
Oh my goodness. Great interview, great lady, great book.
Yes.
Great book. And we've been talking about the importance of the title and the cover and the first sentence and all in novels and everything. And I just want to say her title, just sit with that. What we left unsaid.
Right, what we left unsaid. And it really, as you can see, it really touched me. It really touched me.
Yeah.
It meant a lot.
A good thing to do is to just think on these things, what we left unsaid, because as she was talking and I was thinking about it, I thought to myself, I don't want to leave anything unsaid. I don't want to go through this life and just get to a point of saying, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Wish I had said it, wish I had done it, wish I had. I always say that I'll turn in my card to the meant to club. I meant to call. I'm not going to be a card carrying member of the meant to club.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That is it for us for tonight. I thank everybody for joining. I see Miss Kay from the YouTube group.
Yes, for Linda.
And Linda's on the line tonight.
And Dawn, and my cousin Dawn, she came in.
Well, and we thank you. We thank you because we can't do this without you. We are grateful that you were here with us to experience Miss Winnie Li and have her talk to us about her book. We've got lots more coming this year, lots of things going on. We've got the book club coming up. We've got some great authors, some great books, and you can find us at authorsupshow.com.
That's it. I was getting ready. I was typing that in right now to the comment. AuthorSupShow.com. And this show will be replayed this coming Saturday at 7:00 p.m. So tell somebody about this wonderful book and tell them they have to watch the replay.
That's right. That's right. And Miss Ruth will be back with us soon, and we'll be glad to have her return and hear something about her weeks in review.
Yes, I told you. I'm just gonna say my week was fine and let Ruth talk. I'm telling you.
So that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining. And you never know what's going to happen on Authors Hub. So come back. Don't think that, I'll catch it next time. You don't want to miss anything. So come back next week. Have an absolutely amazing week. We love you. We thank you. We pray God will bless you. And that's all we have for tonight.
Yes.
So good night, Miss Victoria.
Good night, Bronze Girl. I love you. Mwah. Everybody stay safe and warm.